Do it.
All right, good morning, everybody. Today is Daf Yud Aleph, Masechus Hoshana.
Right.
Thank you, Rabbi Reese, getting us filling in yesterday. So we discussed machlokas, different times where the world was created, where different occurrences occur based on the psukim. So I was told we were left off the 7 lines from the top. Tanya. How do we know that from Tishrei that the world was created? Shnamar, as the pasuk says, "Vayomer Elokim." So said Hashem, "Tarsei ha'oretz desha esav mazria zera eitz pri." So it says over there, right? It should give forth, right, fruits and vegetation, but it says over there, calls it eitz pri. It's which is a month where the trees are already full of trees, right? And the ground is already full of vegetation. That's during Tishrei. So when it occurred, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu said this during Ma'aseh Bereishis, so therefore you see that they were already, it was a time when it was complete, and therefore that was during Tishrei. Right, that was in after by the time of the harvest. And of the time there was also the time of the rain. It says right, the rain, the rain came, and they sprouted. What it says, right, and the mist came from the earth, right? So that was referring to the rain, the Revia Rishona. So therefore, the Revia Rishona is ready in the by the month of Tishrei. A little bit afterwards, right? How do we know that? No, it was created not during Tishrei, but rather Pesach time in the spring. As Moses says, and then it says eitz osa pri, and it says the trees, right, were producing fruit. What is the month that produces stuff that begins to grow? That's during Nisan, right? So that was I think that was the next pasuk, right? That was the pasuk afterwards in pasuk Yud Beis. So it says over there, the fruit will come forth. So they'll come forth, i.e., that they're set to begin growing, which is during Nisan. V'osa perek. And this is a time where the different animals mate. Right? Says we saw this earlier. Love shu karim hatzah. Right? We said over there that when the valleys are full of produce, that's when the animals go out and they become pregnant. And when is that? That all occurs during by Nisan. It also says eitz osapri. Right, that they should give forth. So if you learn Matisha, why should they give forth? It already has the fruits. Oh, the bracha l'doros. It's a bracha for the future. For the future, that trees should give forth fruits. It says eitz pri, sounding like that the trees were already fully ripened fruit. That's like Rishon Levi. Rishon Levi. Kol ma'aseh bereishis, the kamasa nivro. The Daita Nivru, the Tzivyona Nivru. The Ma'aseh Bereishis, they were all created with their full kaima, their full height, their full stature. The Daita, their full knowledge and their full potential. The Tzivyona Nivru, or their desire, or their beauty, or the final feature what they were supposed to be. That was they're all created. The pasuk says
Rishon was created as an adult.
He was also right. Says it says over there, and it was they finished. They finished creating the Shemaim, the Aretz, and all their hosts. Don't call it hosts. Right, which means their desire, or that which they were supposed to do with their full beauty, that which is they were destined to be. They were created like that. Right. So trees were created as full trees, right? And therefore that's what I was talking about. But it doesn't mean they were full trees with fruit, right? It just means that they were full trees with the potential of normal full trees. Now, next, Rabbi Eliezer, how do we know that during Tishrei the Avos are born? Shnamar the pasuk says, "Vayikulu el melech Shlomo kol ish Yisrael b'yerach ha'isana b'chag." So it says there, and they all gathered around. What is this? Okay. They all gathered around Shlomo Melech, right? And it says over there, in the month of the Eisanim, right, which is the Chag. So Yarach Shnaldu by Eisanim Eilam. It means the month that the Esanim, right? That we'll soon see. It means the mighty ones, the strong ones, the mighty ones, they were born. In other words, during their month. When is that? That is during. So that was during Tishrei, right? Because that's when the pasuk says over there when it was when they gathered there, b'chag. So we say so. How do you know that? So my mash the high Esan lishna the kivu. How do you know that the lashon of Esan means that it's strong or mighty? Because the pasuk says Esan moshevecha. It says over there that is mighty is your dwelling place. It says Shimu Harim Esrib Hashem Esanim Amos Deoretz, right? So listen mountains, right? To the Riv Hashem, the argument, right, of Hashem, and the Esanim Amos Deoretz, and the strong ones, the mighty ones, right? They will be the most Deoretz. They will be the foundation of the world. It says Kol Dodi, right? So it says the voice of my beloved, right? It will skip over the mountains, and jump over the hills. And who is that? Medalig al-harim is chos avos, and mekavis al-gilos is chos imahos. Right? In other words, the jump to skip to skip the mountains is chos of the avos, and to jump over the imahos, to skip the hills, right? Is the Mahos. So we see over there that they refer to the mountains. The mountains refer to the mighty ones. So therefore, when it says mighty ones, it could even directly be referring to the Avos. So the Avos, so the month of the Avos was the month of the mighty ones, which when they were born during Tishrei. And Rabbi Shua Omer, Menai Shabbat Nisan, the Avos. How do you know that the Avos were born during Nisan? Shana the says, Vayi Bishmanim Shana, Varba Me'or Shana, that says B'nai Yisrael, Mitzrayim was the 480th year of Mitzrayim. The Shana Haraviz B'Chodesh Ziv. Fourth year, the Chodesh Ziv. And what is Ziv? Over there, we said it was referring to Nisan. The Yerach Shenoldu Ba Zivasani Ha'ilam. During the month, right, when those who were the radiant ones of the worlds were born. Their month of Ziv doesn't mean the little, the month. It means the radiance. And who were the radiance? Those of us. Ziv is the next month, right? But it was the month before, right? Right? Rashi says, right now, was when Iyar came around, it was already radiant. It was already a radiance from Nisan. So they were born during Nisan because when Ziv came around, there was already radiance in the world. Right? That's a Rashi text it. Or sometimes that Nisan stretches into, right, the Tkufa of Iyar, the month there, and therefore that's why it was called that. So that was the Tupshatim of the Rashi there, like the middle of the Rashis. So it says Vaksiv Bayerach Eisanim. Was perceived that it was the month, right, of the Eisanim, of the mighty ones, which we touched as the Avos. So awesome to give you some mitzvahs means the mighty ones, the mitzvahs, by many mitzvahs in Tishrei. That's what's referring to. It wasn't referring to the Avos, is referring to the mitzvahs of Tishrei. So these bay Ziva Lilani means no, that there's the month, there is radiance there, but that was the radiance of the trees. Rav Yehuda says, Rav Yehuda, a person who goes out Nisan, he sees a tree in bloom, right? So what does he say? He says, Baruch shalei chiser me'olamo klum, ubara b'ay brios tovos, vilanos tovos, lisanos behen b'nei adam. Right? Blessed Hashem that he did not lack anything in his creation for the world. And he has many good creations and many good trees, right? For a man to go ahead and benefit for them to see this beautiful blossoming tree. And therefore, that's during the month of Nisan. That's what's referring to the Chodesh Ziv. Fine. Now, Man de Omar Nisan Oldu B'Nisan Mesav. Man de Omar B'Tisha Oldu B'Tisha Mesav. The one who says that the Avos were born during Nisan, they also died during Nisan. The one who says they're born in Tisha, they also died in Tisha. Shnamar, as the pasuk says, Vayomer Aleim Ben Meya Ve'esrim Shana Anochi Hayom. Says Moshe Rabbeinu, right? Behold, today I'm 120 years. I am today. Shein Tamalimer Hayom. It doesn't even say Hayom. I'm sorry. Right.
I'm saying that's interesting.
He was right. Avinu was right. Was during Adar, right? Right. So he says, so Ma Tamaleimar Hayom. Why? What do we do? Why does it say over there Hayom? So Hayom Amalu Yom Hashanah. Right. Today has filled my days and my years. Shnamar es mispa yamecha malay. So Kadosh Baruch Hu makes for the days and the years full for the tzaddikim. So therefore they go right from the time they were born to the time they die, her full days, full years. So therefore so Moshe Rabbeinu, right, was born and died on the same day. So too the others, they born on the same day. The Pesach noiled Yitzchak, but Yitzchak, right, even according to the other opinion, right, he was born during by Pesach. Manala, we know that from the pasuk says, "La moed oshavelach." The next holiday I will come. So this is when the Malachim came to tell Sarah, she's going to have a baby. But la moed oshavelach, during the next moed, I'm going to come to return to you. As Amos Kai, what was this? Elim Pesach v'kamer le'at seres. If it was during Pesach, and says,
"I'll come to came." Then Pesach.
If it was during when they told her that she was going to go ahead and have a baby, it was during Pesach, and they told her then, and it says next Moed, you will go ahead and give birth. So the next Moed is Shavuos. You can't give birth in Shavuos, right? You can't give birth in Shavuos. But because the elder, right? You can't have 50 days. It's during Pesach, right? El Dekaibat says Tishrei. Rather, you're going to say what? Maybe it was during Shavuos when she was told, right, that the next holiday you give birth. Once again. From Shavuos to Sukkot also the math doesn't work out. It was up to 5 months. So rather it was told right that she will go ahead and have a baby on Sukkot. It means next holiday, i.e. Pesach. So it says what do you mean? Isn't that's only 6 months, and it can't have 6 months? We know that a baby that was born 7 months is the minimum, right? So Tana, okay, so that year was a leap year. That year was a leap year, and therefore it was 7 months, right? So of course, but we know that over there, right? We learned from the Pesukim that she went to go ahead and prepare, bread, and then it turns out that the bread wasn't served. Why it wasn't served? Because she was matame the dough, because she was a nida, right? So it was matame the dough, so she was a nida, so she had to wait for her yimei tahara. So that takes another couple of weeks. So it's not full 7 months. It's now only 6 months and 2 weeks or so, right? It was less.
But the Malachim came to Abraham.
That's what they're discussing. That's what they're discussing.
Yeah. But they're saying they told her over during the Yontif, right? They told her over during the Yontif of over the month of the month of Sukkot, right?
Holiday they set it
Right.
That's what they're eliminating all the holidays.
Here.
Just because of this.
So I'm going to read you a footnote. You ready? Our Gemara seems to contradict the well-known midrash, right, that states that the angels visited Abraham on Pesach of 1 year and foretold that Isaac would be born during Pesach the next year. That was the medrash that you're referring to. Midrash does not translate Lashon Lamoed as the festival, but at the time next year, right? No, it's over there that learns Lamoed means that this time next year you'll have a baby, not the next Moed. However, for the Gemara and the medrash might be reconciled to discuss related issues. See the Ritva, Tosfos, and other fine. Marsha, Maral. So, anyways. So regards to so came out you may about the class. Razutra afilaman demer yoles tisha ena yoles limkutay and yoles l'shiva yoles limkutay. Even according to the opinion who holds right that a woman who's supposed to go full right she can't give less than that. But if one who holds that but if she's supposed to go ahead or not supposed to if she's going to have a shortened pregnancy can be shortened. In other words, a full term has to go full term, but a shortened one can even be shortened from what it states. Why? Shnamar, as the pasuk says, "Vayil was at the end of the days." So miyat tkufas shtayim, miyat yom shtayim. In other words, tkufos is the amount of minimum seasons, which is 2. Right, each season is 3 months. That's 6 months, and miyat yomim, and the minimum amount of days is 2. So as long as it's 6 months and 2 days, that is enough to go ahead and give birth to a child, and that's when the Yitzchak was born.
I want to see the whole thing in your phone. What's the difference?
Well, but you still have to. She has to. Right. I mean, she conceived miraculously, but she right. Her birth was full and natural, I guess, or was her childhood labor.
By Yitzchak on the word Moed, and Yitzchak it says.
La Moed Shavelecha.
Yeah, Moed. It also says this is what the message is based on. Sholo Shuvelecha Eisaya.
Right, this time. Right. So over there, learn the Moed during the Moed of next time. During this time of next year, that's over the birth. That's the message, right? Very good. Fine. Now the Rosh Hashanah, because I started on Rosh Hashanah, right? That was when Sarah, Rachel, and Chana, they were remembered, right? And then they conceived, right? Menolan. So we're know. So Amar Rebbe Elazar Osya Pekida Osya Zechira. So two Gzer Shavas, one of Pekida, which is soon see, and Zechira. Ksiv Rachel, it says by Rachel, it says Vayiskor Elokim Esar Rachel. Ksiv B'Chana, it says Vayiskor Hashem. Right, so he remembered both of them. When the Osir Zechir Rosh Hashanah, we learned Zechir from Rosh Hashanah. Ksiv Shabbos and Zichron Trua. Because Zichron Trua, so Zichron, so they remembered right on Rosh Hashanah. So they remembered on Rosh Hashanah, and therefore that's when they conceived. And Pekida, and also Gzer Shava, Ksiv B'Chana Ki Pakad Shabbos Chana Hashem B'Chana, and he remembered her, right? And it says Ksiv Zara Hashem Pakad Esara. Right, and so over there, Hashem also, right? He remembered Sarah, right? She went ahead and she gave birth. So we see that just like Chana, right, was remembered during Rosh Hashanah, so too was Sarah Imi.
Now, are we concerned with the fact that 6 months here from Rosh Hashanah takes out the 6 months, and maybe more 6 months after 7 months?
From Rosh Hashanah until Pesach. Right, so according to this, right, so but Sarah would have, but it's okay because Sarah would have been Yitzchak. Right. So Yitzchak, that right. So that would be right. So that would be okay, right? Because that's what we said. It was 6 and 2 because the other of us, it was only Sarah, Chana, and right, and Rachel also. She didn't give birth to the others, right? Fine. Now we're at bottom line over there in Yud Aleph, right at the bottom. So our second 2 lines at the bottom. So B'Rosh Hashanah Yotza Yosim Beis Yisur. On Rosh Hashanah. Yosef Atzadik, right? He left. He was left out from the base from the jail. Menolan. The Chassidus says Tigba Chodesh Shofar because the Yom Chagenu Ki Chayk L'Yisrael Hu. So it says over there, blow the shofar, right? Because the Yom Chagenu Ki Chayk L'Yisrael Hu, right? So we learned over there that it was during the time of judgment, right? When the moon is covered, right? That was referring to Rosh Hashanah, as you mentioned earlier. And it says over there, the next pasuk, right? It says Edus b'Yosef Samo b'Tzeso, right? It says over there, and this was the testimony that when Yosef got out. So when Yosef got out, this was the testimony, and now we see further out that he came out during the time of Rosh Hashanah. And also, top line, Rosh Hashanah, Batla Avodim Avasinu Yisraelim. Also, on Rosh Hashanah was they were stopped being enslaved, right? The work ceased in Mitzrayim. It says there, it says there, you'll take you out from the burdens of Mitzrayim. It says there, it says there, and he removed Yosef from his burden. So just like Yosef was removed from his burden on Rosh Hashanah, so too Bnei Yisrael was removed from their burden on Rosh Hashanah. And at Nisan Nigol, and during Nisan near Nigol, Kedisa. Right, there's like you look at the psukim say, they were taken out during the month of Nisan, and B'Tishrei Asin Ligal, and now Machlokes, and then in the future they were going to go ahead and be taken out during Tishrei. So, what the sneeze? No, but Tishrei Asin Ligal. During Tishrei they'll be taken out in the future. So Asir Shavar. From the Gzer Shavar, Ksiv Hach, it says Shofar. It says you blow the shofar. Referring to Rosh Hashanah, Ksiv Hasan, by Yom Ha'u, you talk about Shofar Gadol. And on that day, on the great day of the final redemption, it also blow the shofar. So Gzer Shava on Rosh Hashanah, which is during Tishrei. And Rabbi Shua Omer, B'Nisan Nigal, B'Nisan Asin Ligal. No, during Nisan they were redeemed, and during Nisan they were in the future. They were redeemed in the future. They'll also be redeemed. Minolan. So Amakar says Leil Shimarim. It says called it Leil, a night of being watched. So Leil Meshumar, right? That is a day of being watched from. That day was destined of being watched from the time of creation, and therefore this is the day that they were redeemed in Mitzrayim, and they will be redeemed. The Idach Leil Hameshumar, right? Right, and also as a night they will be guarded, and for any sort of demons or any sort of zikim type of different damaging type of spirits. Now, the ozdula tamayo. You notice right now. So far we did half the page, right? There's only like 2.5, not even 2 lines of Rashi. And now we have the Ozlu Tamayu, and you see there's a whole long Rashi here of one long Rashi. So what's going on here? So now this machlokes is between Rabbi Yeshua and Rabbi Eliezer, right? So they also have a different machlokes regarding the calendar. So that was that, but also now it had to do with they did have machlokes that, but it also is related to another machlokes. And it was different occurrences during the year, whether basically Nisan or Tishrei, and machlokes has to do with the time of the flood. Right, they learned from the flood, and it also is based upon their understanding of mazolos. Right, so the way mazolos work, the different constellations. That there's 12 different constellations. Right, different mazolos. Those of you the art scroll, it's in 11b2 is the list of the different constellations. But basically, the way it works is that each constellation is like a group of stars in the sky, and every day, right, when it moves around, when the sun rotates around, there's also a slight movement of the stars, right? So movement of the stars of where the sun is in relation to the star. So it's during certain times of the day when you have the sun here, they have stars here, and then there's different. The mazolos also change. So there's 12 in a day. Each one is approximately 2 hours. So the constellations are so there's different constellations for different times of the year. Now, v'yazdu l'tamayu, D'Tanya, b'shnas sheish me'el shel l'chai Noach, b'chodesh hasheni. It says that they're in the 600th year of Noach, referring to the Mabul. The Chodesh Hasheni, on the second month, right? On the 70th day of the month. That was referring to the 17th of Iyar. In other words, the second month referring to Iyar. And Haya Yom Shemazel Kima Shekea B'Yom. So during that day, the Mazel of Kima, right? The mazel of Kima, right, would come during that month, right? That the mazel of Kima usually goes down during the day. It sets during the day, right? When it rises, right? This mazel, just like the sun rises, so the constellation, so it rises during the evening, during the night, and it sets during the day. In other words, it doesn't have its koach during the day.
The Kima.
The Kima, this right? That was the constellation of Kima, right? Kima Shekeh B'Yom, U'maynos Mismatim, right? And the wells, right? The springs of the world are less. They're minimized because remember during Nisa or during Iyar, right? There's right into the summer, right? The spring into the summer. That's the dry season, right? So there's not rains there, so therefore it's the minimum amount of rain, and the springs are and then the underground. Right, is lower. However, when we touch however, since the people they changed their actions, they changed their deeds and they did bad. Shina Kodesh Baruch Hu Aleim Ma'aseh Bereishis. Therefore, Kodesh Baruch Hu checked Ma'aseh Bereishis v'hala mazel kima b'yom, and allowed the mazel of kima instead of setting during the day, the koach of the rain to set during the day, it rose during the day. The Nadash and Kochavim Kima beviu mabul and brought 2 of the stars from Kima, right, and caused the flood to the world. So it changed my sebracious, and that was the Kima, the stuff they used to, because those are added to the rain. You don't normally set; they don't have the power. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave them the power, because he changed my sebracious because the people changed the ways of the world, and therefore that brought the Mabul to the world.
Sounds like global warming.
Yeah. And that was the opinion of Rabbi Yoshua, I believe. Yeah, that was Rabbi Yoshua. Rabbi Eliezer Amir. No. It was the 70th of Mar Cheshvan. Yom Shemazel Kima Eila B'Yom. Usually, this is when Kima is the strong one. It's coming up during the day. What's the second? It's the second shift during the day. But Yom Umaynos means Gabrim, and therefore the Mainos are normally full. When we talk, and what changed? And we talk Shishina Masehen, and because the people changed their deeds and deviated from the normal behavior of a person, so therefore Shina Kodesh Baruch Hu Aleim Ma'aseh Bereishis, he changed Ma'aseh Bereishis. How so? Bala Mazel Kima B'Yom, and the Mazel Kima was up during the day of Natal Shtei Kochavim, and they took the 2 Kochavim, the Natal Shtei Kochavim, the Hevi Mabul Li'elam, and it brought a Mabul to the world, right? Brought a Mabul to the world. Now. Let's go a couple more times.